this one here, there's a clock in here. Here's a clock right here. This is the clock unit right here. Now what does that mean? That means if you take the clock out and hook it up, and by the way, get the little window that has the time on it. Let me show you that. See, you get one of these little windows out of calculators and whatever. See it? You touch your wires on here, you can get the numbers to pop up in the windows, just like a calculator would, or the time or the date. Now, if you take a battery and touch two wires, you'll just get little pieces of it here and there. If you pull this clock out of here and the timer, the little window in the front that put the time and everything on it, that of course would give you a cute little clock. There's all kinds of things in here. All right, so what you want to look for, there's also levers and pulleys and gears. I don't see anything for the moment. But one thing I pulled out, which is kind of cute, on another piece of equipment, is that little thing right there. This is the one that the numbers turn. See it? You can just barely see the numbers turning. See it? Okay. This is the counter. You know, how far away how long the tape is and all that kind of thing. Do you know if you take this and use this little, see it's a pulley, and you put one of these rubber bands on it, and take another pulley and hook it to your bicycle, and you ride your bicycle as the pulley turns, it'll change the numbers. And you can learn after a while how many numbers would it read on here for how many blocks that you bicycle. In other words, how many blocks did you go on your bike? And you look at the number, it'll say 201. So you've gone 201 blocks. You figure out how many blocks, one block. You're going to use your own measuring stick. How far do you go, and what does the number say on this? So that's something you need. The counter, and that's a mechanical device. A lot of these are mechanical. Remember, the older the machines, the neater the stuff is, because, boy, well, you want to see a ripoff? Look, there's a ripoff for you. Look at that. That's a speaker. Look. What a ripoff. Remember I said the back of the speaker, you have the two places where you hook up to the ears? Well, there they are. See the two little dots? That's the ears. This is called a piezo crystal. That's the speaker. Because after all, some things are so tiny, you can't put a good-sized speaker in it. So they have to go to these now, these little wafer things. So that's modern technology. And that's why this machine is probably, what, good 5, 7 years old, maybe more. And it doesn't take long for things to be out of style, if that's the term. Found something. I'm looking down here to see what I can show you. Found something right here. See if you can catch that? Right there. Now watch. I'm doing it manually. This happens to be an electromagnetic switch. You remember this big thing I had? Remember that big thing I had? There's two of them right there. Two. They sure come down in size, haven't they? And that's fine, nothing wrong with that. But you got yourself two electronic switches. Sometimes you have to go after equipment. You have to shoot it with a gun. Nah, this is a soldering gun. You plug this in the wall, and this gets real, real hot. And what it does, it melts the connecting parts here called solder, and it melts it. And with a screwdriver, when you melt it, you just pop it out. It takes a little bit of practice, but it can be done. For example, let me reach down here on the floor. See, we're looking at this. See this pretty stuff here? Now, if I turn this over, there you go. That's all your little buttons of solder. You take your soldering gun and you touch each little button that you need to touch. It'll melt. And at the same time, you have your third hand on the other side of this board, and you pop off what you need. So sometimes things are soldered in. But you can be thankful that if there's a lot of wire in here like this one, or these little plugs that you can pull out like that, well, then you're really blessed, because you can just save this with no trouble at all. All right, so, I really didn't get very deep into all this, but what's the purpose of these units of study? Is introduction, to get you interested. Go to the library. Go to there's certain electronic stores that sell the little booklets on how to build all these kind of things. And there's lots of fun. There's one little booklet that's got about 32 different things. I built all 32 of them, and they're hilarious. There's little electric crickets that tell you what the temperature is, and there's room alarms, and it just goes on and on and on. And these people, if you have a question, they have the answer, they can do it for you. So they'll show you what parts they are. And I'm talking about if you go in the back of these stores, you'll see everything in little bags hanging up, and that's where all those little goodies are. So it's a little bit of investment, but not too much. So I hope you've enjoyed this series on electricity and electronics. Please get something old, tear it apart like this, and you'll be surprised at the goodies in there. Check it with a multimeter or check it with a battery. If your battery isn't good, then build yourself a little battery checker. You've seen all that. Just watch the programs again, and you'll see how to do all that again. That's what's nice about video and television. You just play it again, Sam, or wait till it comes back around. So thank you very much, and don't get electrocuted, and let electricity not be a shocking experience.